So I am 42 years old. I have been out of school for, what is that? Look, math. 24 years I've been out of school. Graduated at 18. From 42 now, 18 and 22 is 42. So I've been out of school for a very long time, obviously. And when I was in school, I remember dreading Mondays and then looking forward to Fridays so much because the end of the day on Friday meant I had a free weekend. It didn't matter if it was high school, down to middle school, all the way down to elementary school. I remember looking forward to the weekend more than looking forward to actual school days. Well, there's an elementary school in Indiana that will become the first to have a 4-day week. There are a lot of schools already that do 4-day weeks. So according to what I looked up, it says that, where's what I read? It said that there's like a ton of different schools. I think they said 600 schools that are already 4-day weeks versus where is it? Okay, here. Research has found nearly 900 districts in the U.S. currently use a 4-day school week. That's up from 650 since 2020. So in 2020, out of the entire country, 650 school districts had 4-day work week or 4-day school weeks. Then it went up to 900 last year. I can guarantee you by the end of 2024, even 2025, you'll see even more than that. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So what they're doing here in Indiana, there's an elementary school in Lafayette is making a change no Indiana public school has done before. It is the first of its kind in Indiana for a public school, not even just an elementary school, public school in general, right? The Lafayette School Board of Trustees voted on Wednesday to approve a 4-day school week for Vinton Elementary School. Students at Vinton will now attend classes from 8 a.m. to 3:45 p.m. Mondays to Thursdays. The change will take an effect in August of this year. So they're going to finish out this school year with whatever they've got, Monday through Friday, whatever their time frames are. Then they'll have the summer off. And when they get to go back to school next year, they've got a 4-day week. Now, that sucks for the kids in 5th grade who are going to middle school next year and they don't get to take advantage of that, but it's great for everybody else. I think it's going to be interesting for the ones who are, Max, stop. Sorry, my dog's doing dog things. For the kids who are going into kindergarten, and this is how they start off is with a 4-day school week. What happens when they get to middle school if their middle school hasn't adopted that 4-day school week and they're up to 5 days? I feel like that would make it harder for them once they've gone through this many years of a 4-day week to then have to go to a 5-day week. Think about when COVID hit and almost everybody ended up working from home or doing things from home. And then suddenly they're like, well, we need you to come back into the office. And it was like 1 day, then it was 2 days, then it was more. It was harder to go back into those things after getting so used to not having to do them. I think that the 8 a.m. to 3:45, you have to think these are young kids, 5th grade. So what, up until, what is that, like 11? I have a 14-year-old. You'd think I would know. So I'm thinking up until like 11. So from 5 till 11, they're there from 8 to 3:45. So 8 to 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, almost 8 hours a day, which is longer than most schools. My kid's in middle school now, and she's 9 to 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3:30. They're there 6.5 hours a day. High school next year is 8 to 3. They're there for 7 hours next year. So this elementary school is going to have longer days, obviously, which is hard on young kids who have the shorter attention spans, who need more outdoor time, who need more sleep and all these other things. I'm curious to see once this gets started for this elementary school, if it continues on, if after a couple years they go, you know what, that 5-day week is better. Or if the parents of these kids are like, hey, listen, this doesn't work. I have to work a 5-day work week. I don't get to drop my work schedule because you dropped the school hours. That's where this always comes in as a weird place for me, because when I worked corporate America, I had to put my daughter in daycare in order to do my job, right? The times that my mom or my husband's mom couldn't watch our daughter, she was in a daycare. For people who don't have that ability to have a family member watch a child or whatever else on that Friday, that day off, they are then going to have to be tasked with either figuring out if they can stay home from work, if their job even allows a stay at home or a work from home, if they have that kind of job, right? Or if their boss will even allow it, or they have to figure out some way to spend money now on that Friday so that the kid can go to some sort of daycare or have a babysitter or something. Now there will be other people who work from home or who have a pretty free open schedule who might love the fact that now they get their kid for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, instead of them being in school that Friday. It's going to be interesting. Do the teachers pay? Does that change because they're working 1 day less a week? Does that affect the teachers and the cafeteria workers and the janitor and everybody else? Does the bus drivers, how does that work for them? Like, I wonder what the ripple effects are. I know a lot of schools in Florida have adopted a 4-day school week. Not here in Okaloosa County where I am. Where I was in Gwinnett County in Georgia before we moved, there were no 4-day school weeks. Everything was your 5-day week. And it gave you the ability to have shorter hours, but also gave, again, parents the ability to schedule their work, to do their job, to be able to make the money, to pay the bills, to do everything else. But it also gave people you knew that on these days between these hours, you could get these things done if you needed to, whether it's running errands. Like, let's say as a parent, you work 4 days a week, but that 5th day was your day to get the house clean, to go to doctor's appointments for yourself, to go grocery shopping, to get whatever needed to be done on the car done, because you knew your child was in school and you had this time frame to get these things done. And now you don't. And it's a lot harder sometimes, especially with elementary age children, to get a lot of those things done because elementary age children need more attention than a middle school child or a high school child. You know, as they get older, one, they want less to do with their parents, but also there's more for them to do as they are older. You don't have to watch them as hard because you're not as worried about them sticking their finger in a socket, you know, at home or doing something crazy. So for Indiana to do this, the very first one to do this in Indiana, I think is ballsy because of the ripple effect that it has, not just for the students and the staff and faculty, but for the parents and then their jobs. It has to be something that we don't think about it a lot, but one little change literally can change a ton of stuff around it. And this is going to be one of those things. The Indiana State Board of Education has approved a waiver allowing the change for the next 3 years. The change makes Vinton the first public school in the state to operate on a 4-day week. For any parents, they're having like a community meeting about it. The board said that any parents who feel the new schedule does not align with their needs will have the option to transfer to a different elementary school. The school board provided the following statement regarding the change. Lafayette School Court is thrilled about the opportunities this transition presents for our school community. We believe that the 4-day week will not only provide students with enhanced learning experiences, but also allow for more meaningful family time and opportunities for extracurricular activities. Together, we are embarking on an exciting journey toward a brighter future for our students and families. Now, I hear that, but as somebody who had a child who was in after-school sports and things like that, getting out at 3:45, especially if they take a bus, that puts them home kind of late to get to softball, basketball, baseball, what did I say, basketball already? Football, whatever else there is. The later you are in the day getting out of school, the later you are getting home, the harder it is as a parent to get your kid to these extracurricular activities, because a lot of them start at 5 o'clock, maybe 5:30, maybe 6. But the younger you are, generally speaking, the earlier these things start. So I see what they're saying, that it gives you more family time and opportunities for extracurricular activities, but that means on a Friday, like you get to go do something on a Friday. The after school stuff is going to take a small hit. If they're extending school an hour, hour and a half every single day, that's an hour, hour and a half that these kids aren't getting to play outside before the sun goes down or before dinner time or before bath time and bedtime. Elementary school students generally go to bed a lot earlier than middle school and high school students. So again, it's going to be interesting to me. I'm sure there are plenty of families who will love it. Just like if it turned into a 4-day work week, there's plenty of people who work who wouldn't mind having that 4-day week, putting in 40 hours in 4 days versus over 5. Yes, it extends your days and makes things after that a little bit more difficult, but then it gives you that 1 day off. So I guess it's just give and take no matter how you look at it. But there are plenty of countries that have 4-day work weeks for everybody, 4-day school weeks for everybody. And I feel like if this works at this one elementary school in Indiana, then you'll see more and more jump on board. And the next thing you know, we may be a country of 4-day weeks. A lot of Spanish countries, they close everything for like an hour so everybody can have a nap or whatever they need to do in the middle of the day. There's plenty of businesses here in Okaloosa that close for lunch instead of, employees having to clock out and work through or whatever else, they close the entire business from 12 to 1 or 1 to 2. So everybody gets a lunch and it's not a big deal. And then they open back up because they're putting, in my opinion, employees first over the consumers, which, yes, good, right? Unless, of course, you're the consumer who's like, I can only get my stuff done on my lunchtime and you're closed, so now I can't do it, whatever. But I think this is great. This isn't like a hard-hitting news story or anything like that. I just thought it was an interesting thing because it does change the dynamic of a lot of different things based off of that one school day being taken away and those other 4 being extended. Just like the schools who say, hey, we're going to work through the summer. We're going to have, shorter school days, but we're going to extend into the summer or start earlier so then kids get less summertime. We've seen that happen before. I'm curious what our final resting place of days in school is going to be. Are they going to stop at 4? At some point, do they go, you know what, 3 is fine, and then you can do the rest from home? Or you know what, at this point, we're not even going to do public school. Everybody do everything from home. They did that before. It's possible it could happen again. But I think it's cool that Indiana's stepping out and trying something new. I feel like a high school would make more sense to try it with, because a lot of high schoolers have after school jobs and maybe they'd be able to not work as many hours after school, but maybe do more on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday basis. I don't know. It's just interesting. So that's it, Squirrel Tribe. I just want to have that small little conversation with you. I love you guys immensely, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.